Yes, guys, a new Bitcoin update. Gonna do some TA, and today it's Wednesday, so we had some nice moves yesterday. So there is time for an update on a higher time frame. I'm gonna watch on a higher time frame. I said in the beginning, I said it like in November, that every good distribution or accumulation on a mid time frame takes between 40 and 80 days. This one, for example, was 60 days. This one, for example, was 55 days. This one was 90 days. And right now, we are taking our time as well. And this one now takes 60 days. So that is the range timing wise I'm looking at when I'm watching this for a distribution. I still expect this to be a distribution. So the plan is essentially the same while taking a sip of coffee. But we have some very nice supply above us, and this supply is one big structure supply zone right there. And you have a refined supply level. And if I go into the lower time frame, you can see that a refined supply level. So let's go into it. That's this level. And this leaving behind an inefficiency. So this is a 2 hour structure supply. So structure, boom, leaving an inefficiency. And this is all liquidity. Like this is all liquidity, all those lower highs. So this is all liquidity. This is the efficiency you want, and this is the low time frame, more refined structure supply. So that is one hell of a POI I'm watching for BTC. We still have a red circle low here below us, and that is um, where I want price to go to eventually. When we go to the monthly, let's go to the monthly, and um, there we can see we have an unfinished candle still. So we still have a candle without a wick on the monthly time frame. So this can act as a magnet for price to go to later on. So it's still 17 days before the monthly ends. So we have a lot of time to still clear that candle. If we print a monthly unfinished right now and we close bullish, we don't fill that wick, then it's gonna get taken out eventually. It still will act as a magnet later on. So that is what I'm watching. So that's a monthly. On the lower time frame, we can draw a range we're in. So boom. So let's draw that range. Structure is making higher highs, higher lows. And this is the lower time frame structure. But on the higher time frame, you can redraw your range. Instead, from there to there, you can draw it from here to here. And this is the new range you're in with liquidity below the range low. And of course, liquidity above that range high, but we already took some. Let's extend it to our tab 2. And we took some of that liquidity already. So we didn't take it all, and we didn't feel that inefficiency I was talking about. But we did take some of that liquidity of those lower highs. Did we take that? Yeah. This was exactly where you were rejecting from that point. So that's what you took. Let's see if we created some demand on our way up. Some high time frame demand. I thought we have had a 5 day and finish as well, but that's not the case. And this is only a very good sign actually, because when you don't create that obvious demand on your way up, like this, are all higher lows. This is all liquidity. So you can have some lower time frame demand in there, but this is only liquidity. So that's amazing for potentially going lower after all. Yeah, there literally is no good demand in here. there isn't, and that's a good sign because that's only better for potential shorts later on. And right now we are still obviously within the deviation limit. The deviation limit is located at the supply, so exactly at the supply. So what still can happen is that you form another tap and sort of have a mini manipulation phase before you go lower. That can happen as well. The move up was pretty aggressive, so there isn't really any structure to look at to um, to break and confirm your distribution model. What was very obvious is that you still had this 3-day unfinished, which I was talking about, which can act as a magnet for price to go to, and that's what price did. We had a very solid move up there. Also, no really breaker blocks. You only have this 8 hour block, but it's not aligned with anything else. So I'm not watching it that no, I'm not watching it. Locally, the scenarios I'm laying out are literally going lower right now and seeing that as your tap 3 and take out that monthly and take out that red circle low. So then you would have your 1, your 2, and your 3 right there. And that will mean that you already have your taps in place. But as I was saying, that structure is a bit hard because literally structure between your tap 2 and 3, when you look at structure going up, this is your structure. So this is your point. So essentially, that's what you need to break before you can say, "Hey, I am confirming the model going to that range low." But the RR isn't amazing. This is 3.2 on a high time frame setup, so that's not at all what you want to see. So waiting patiently, actually, what will happen here? We are now bouncing off this demand we have on the lower time frame. So let's see if we can actually break this point and potentially SFP it. So SFP it or break it, go higher and take out that liquidity. Then shit becomes interesting because then you take out that liquidity, then you can have a break on your level 2. That means you can enter right there with your stop there, and then we're talking because then you have a nice RR play on a high time frame. Completely valid. So that's what I will watch for BTC as well. What is also a scenario I already said is that you go to that supply and see this as a manipulation play. So see this as your manipulation zone. So then it's more becoming like a PO3 because this move up was very aggressive as well. So then it becomes more like a PO3, but we have to I need more data to say first because as of now we just had a move outside of the range. So I have to see if we get acceptance inside the range or that we don't get acceptance inside the range and are trying to form a sort of PO3 schematic here, with this being your range and then not manipulation, this being your range, this being your manipulation area, and then this being your expansion area going to that monthly unfinished. So this is definitely a scenario in the books as well. I like the aligning of your DL tool with the supply you'll have. So that's definitely an option as well. But as of now, still watching this scenario where we can potentially have an SFP there and a level 2 break. I will update everything live in the compound private Discord. I have a link in the bio. And that is what I'm watching on BTC. And one thing is then very important as well, and that's USDT. So USDT just took out that range low we have here. And when I go on a higher time frame, you can see where we are in this range. And where we are is in the upper section. It's in the premium. So this is not um, a moment you want to take along. We are also not backed by the volume profile. So when I only look at this chart, context wise, this is not a place for longs. We do have some very good zones there actually. Yeah, but that's for the high time frame. I don't even want to go into that right now. I will do that in another video. But for now, let's look at the monthly on USDT, because the monthly on USDT is has a very small wick as well. So that's can be good for upside. We did create some supply there, but that supply only consists of liquidity. Like this is also just all liquidity. So the same as on BTC, you have some demand, but it exists only of liquidity. So it's not, I don't expect much from it. And there are some local low time frame POIs you can reject from, like this, but not even gonna draw it right now. You didn't came into that demand on USDT yet. That's a 6-hour candle. You didn't come into it yet. So still watching price to come into it. That would align BTC going higher as well, a little bit higher. I also want the volume profile to move down on USDT, because right now the volume is in the upper section of the range and it's already getting a bit better distributed, but it's mainly in the upper section. So I would like the volume profile to move more towards the lower section of the range. And then we're talking about a more evenly distributed volume profile with the most of the volume in the middle. Okay. So that's what I'm watching for the volume profile in USDT. Right now, the most ideal plan is going into that demand, mitigating that supply, and have a very good model here with your 1, your 2, and your 3, and that's would be the best for USDT when I'm only watching at USDT. So BTC is a little bit different because we already have a potential tap 3 there, but I explained all the scenarios there. USDC is also very interesting because we had this range and we have now a move outside of that range, no deep closes below it, and we took very important liquidity. So on USDC, I'm watching for acceptance back inside the range and then a good tap 3 to potentially go higher again. But we first need acceptance back inside the range because USDT on the higher time frame is very bearish because we just deviated this range high with a very good distribution schematic. But we came into some market maker supply there as well because this was a very good Wyckoff there as well. And we have liquidity below. So I'm very careful with this USDC. We can accumulate here indeed to form our tap 3 and go lower. So that is the USDC chart, and this is massive. So but it's acting very clean. So definitely watch USDC, guys. I'm definitely monitoring USDC lately, and it's helping me a lot with taking trades. So that's very good. Then I'm going to. This is not loading for me today. Down, but I still want to go into it. And I want to go into total again, USDT plus USDC. And there it is. Yeah. Okay, super clean, guys. So watching this, we have our one, we have our two, we have our potential three, but it was a very aggressive move. We did create some demand, and that demand on the lower section consists of liquidity. But definitely watch this as well, because this is an awesome confluence for all your trades. And we came into some supply you have here. This is the supply you came in. And here you see it is different from BTC because you do have some liquidity, but the supply POI is not that obvious. So definitely watch this as well. Yeah, very aggressive move. And don't have anything that much more to tell you about this. So I hope everything is clear on BTC right now, guys. And join the compound for live updates and see you in the next video. Okay, ciao, ciao, guys.